Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about the Japanese pronunciation of various names and terms in anime, and the right or wrong way to say them or spell them for that matter. I see this all the time in videos and on like Twitter. People just kind of like going back and forth arguing, sometimes pretty heated arguments, of like how to say a certain name or term in like an anime. First, I wanted to start by talking about the Japanese language. There are there's three ways to write in Japanese. That is in hiragana, katakana, and kanji. We won't talk about kanji. We'll only talk about hiragana and katakana. Hiragana is the alphabet, the Japanese alphabet, and it is made up of syllables. So, a, I, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, ta, chi, tsu, te, do, and so on and so forth. That is used for Japanese only terms or vocabulary. Katakana, on the other hand, it's the same alphabet but written differently, and it is used for foreign terms. So, not just English words, but any foreign word out there that is not strictly a Japanese word. So the Japanese alphabet, whether you're talking about hiragana or katakana, they are the same, they're just written visually differently, but they are made up of syllables, whereas the English alphabet is made up of letters. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then so on, whatever. And that is a big difference to have in the pronunciation of things. So English is like a really weird language, but in Japanese, the one thing I really, really love about the language is that everything is always pronounced in one way, basically. All the A's will always be pronounced ah, all the I's will always be pronounced E, and all the E's will always be pronounced e. And it's just like, it's a very solid phonetic alphabet, and I love that because there's no like guesswork. Not like in the English language where it's just like our rules get thrown out the freaking window. It's a really complicated language. It's silly, really. But anyways, that sets the premise for what I wanted to talk about, and that is like the pronunciation and spelling of names and stuff in anime, obviously. So the other day I was talking with Rhymestyle and a couple other people on Twitter about how you pronounce the word Frieza. So, or not just pronounce it, but also spell it, because there was kind of like questions and arguments about the spelling of it in Frieza or Freeza, and then I think it was Geekdom who said it should be spelled Furiza, Furiza, which in the Japanese pronunciation would be true. Because that is how it is pronounced phonetically in Japanese. So therefore, if you were to write Frieza in katakana, it would be Furiza, not Frieza, because there is no FR in Japanese. It would be FURI or FUR, whatever you want to say. And so yeah, in the Japanese language, it would be spelled and pronounced that way. But I wanted to point out that Frieza comes from a foreign word, an English word, freeze or freezer, whatever you want to call it. It comes from an English word, so therefore you can pronounce it. If you felt like talking in Japanese that day, then you would say Furiza, okay? But if you felt like just your regular American whatever accent you have, you can say Frieza, you can spell it Frieza, whatever. It doesn't really, there's no right or wrong way when it comes to certain things, like Frieza. And for another instance, it would be the word or the name Krillin. You can say it Kuririn if you felt like putting on a Japanese accent, or you could say Krillin in an American accent. It doesn't really matter. The Japanese language does not have the letter L in it. That would be replaced by the letter R. So the way you pronounce R in Japanese is kind of like a soft combination of the pronunciation of R, L, and D in English. So it'd be like kuriza or kuririn. Like it's not really like kuririn or kurilin. It's like a soft dance of the two words or letters, whatever. I'm getting mixed up now, but yeah, so you can say kuririn or krilin. You can write it in the same way, but that is the proper translation, is krillin. Like if you wanted to put on an American accent, that is how you would say it. So it's not wrong or right in that instance. Now, in another instance that gets a little more sticky is the word Saiyan or Saiyan or Saiyajin. The origins of the word Saiyajin is Japanese. So because it is like, it's derived from like Japanese word yasai, I think. You can look it up further on Google or whatever. Let me know in the comments below what you find. And so it's like, it's derived from a Japanese word, so therefore you could technically say that you kind of have to say it like Saiyan, because sa-i-yan is the correct like pronunciation of the syllables, and jin means like, it's kind of like if you were to say you are America-jin, which is you're American. To us in like the English speaking language, adding the an at the end of something is the same thing as adding jin at the end of something. So if you were to translate Saiyajin, it would be Saiyan or Saiyan in English. So you can kind of argue that there's a right way to say Saiyan or Saiyajin, but if you were to translate it, you know, it is Saiyan or Saiyan. You don't have to add the jin after the end if you're saying it in English. So it's kind of like a sticky thing there. You can kind of go either way, but you get what I'm saying. How do you like to say it? Let me know in the comments below. Two other words I wanted to bring up is anime and manga, or anime and manga. The term anime comes from the word animation. That is pretty obvious. So therefore, I think if you felt like saying anime, that's fine. That's just a Japanese pronunciation of it. But it is an English word, so if you want to say anime, that's technically right too, right? Although the word manga is a little different because it is derived from the Japanese word, so therefore you would want to say it manga. Also, you kind of sound a little weird if you say manga. It kind of sounds like mango. Just please don't say manga. It's just weird. But you know, people say that it's weird that I say anime instead of anime, and I totally don't agree with that because it does come from the word animation. You know, animation is an English word, so I can say anime and it's technically right. And I can also say anime. So my point I'm trying to make in this whole video is that there sometimes is a right way and a wrong way to say something, but for the most part it's kind of like, it depends on where the word is originated from, and most of the time you can say it either way. You just gotta like really do your research on where a word comes from and the Japanese pronunciation of certain words. But yeah, for the most part, it's kind of like there really is no wrong or right way to say an anime character's name or a certain term. And it kind of goes case by case. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of this subject, and have you ever had like an argument with someone about how to say someone's name in an anime or maybe an anime title? Yeah, let me know your experience, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!